We are live. It is absolutely a fantastic week. This is the 2W Automotive Insiders podcast. I am your co-host, Gideon Williams. Lucas Welk, I think he's had a few more drinks. He's not here. That's okay. We are coming off of a great week of AAPEX. So many fantastic guests. And I'm going to tell you what, the pesky data people at ACPN, they ran 2 beautiful episodes, and both of them decided no voices. I'm starting to think this is the problem with automotive data, and I'm thinking that this is the people we need to talk to. Regardless, all joking aside, we are so happy to have them back on, talk a lot about the week. We want to talk a lot about ACPN. We have some exciting things ahead. Courtney, keep me honest here. ACPN Content Excellence Award opens today. Is that correct?
Yay. Yeah.
Let's go.
It's kind of
a good fight. Talk us through that a little bit. Actually, before we get to that, before we get to that, because that's really exciting. For some of the folks, and I'll kind of set the stage here, guys. ACPN Leadership Committee, and I don't want to take your thunder, Courtney, but I'm not going to. But I'm going to say to our industry, this is a really important piece of what we do. It's the content, it's the enrichment, it's how we interact with our products and our parts and accessories. It's everything in the North American industry from a data perspective. The chair, Courtney Pedler at Autology, she's absolutely one of the fantastic women in pies and aces. She knows her shit. I mean, like hardcore. And she's joined by a couple of members of the chair, Sam Russo of Pivotree, and Joe Thomas, one of the OGs in data. And so with that said, Courtney, I'd love to kind of welcome you to the 2W podcast, talk a little bit about ACPN, the vision you have going. You run an incredible ship of individuals, and you do a lot of great things for industry, and we welcome you.
Thank you so much, Gideon, and thank you for offering to take a third run at this. So, yes, ACPN. My shirt says Automotive Content Professionals Network, but we're really talking about stuff other than automotive, right? Like medium, heavy duty, off-highway equipment, power sports. So we are thinking of ourselves as the aftermarket content professionals network. But all things data, all things catalog. If you are in the Aces and Pies world, if you're doing cataloging, if your job title has the word content in it, this is your home and your family. And we're under the umbrella of the Auto Care Association, who manage the Aces and Pies standards. And yes, we have a council with 10 members on it, and Joe and Sam are on the council, and it's pretty amazing. It's a really amazing bunch of people, and our main goal is there are 3 legs of the ACPN stool, right? Educate, connect, or rather educate, inspire, and connect, with educate, I think, being our main priority. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And you mentioned the Content Excellence Awards open today, and we have several different awards, and companies, manufacturers send in their Aces and Pies files. They are all scrupulously gone through, and the judging criteria is real and extensive. And so we encourage manufacturers that have Aces and Pies data in automotive or off-highway and equipment segments, even web, to submit their content for judging, and maybe you'll end up on stage at Connect Week in May.
Well, Courtney, I don't think you're giving it enough oomph here. This is a big deal. This is really a big deal. This is a big deal. So all of the manufacturers in the business, in our industry, come together at ACPN, and I want to say ACPN is going to be in Phoenix. Help me out here. January 15th to the 17th. Is that correct?
May 12th through the 15th in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And you can register for Connect Week. Registration opens up, I believe, in December, possibly January, but a little later. And Yeah, so do encourage everyone to come be with your people.
Yeah, May 12th to the 15th. Uh, get going on that. Got to get in the kind of mind. We want last year it was in Orlando. Fantastic event, Courtney.
It was in Chicago.
Fantastic event.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh my God, I am missing on everything.
No, that's okay. 2024 was hard.
Misinformation. It was in Chicago. That's right. Jesus Christ. May 12th through the 15th. That is a really important event. It's a great event for all of our content professionals. If you're young in the content game and you really want to kind of get connected with Courtney and her team, that is the place to do it. That is kind of where educate, inspire, connect. Totally awesome. But the content professionals, the awards for excellence, that is now open. I'm actually looking on the site. If you just Google AutoCare, ACPN, go to the awards section. You could drop your best in class pies and aces. And quite frankly, if you do win an award, there is kind of a little bit of clout that you could hold over the industry. Is that true?
Absolutely. There's a plaque, but there's also bragging rights. People feel deeply about these awards. I mean, we hear about it every year. And so, yeah, that is a major feather in your cap. If you're on a content team that wins one of these content excellence awards, it's a big deal. And it is important. And people work hard on these catalogs and this content, and they should be rewarded for it, for good content.
Yeah, well, we just really need to level up our people, right? We need to level up the environment, level up the culture. Data is critically important. And one thing I want to bring up, Joe, on your end, Joe Thomas, really an OG in the catalog, CTR amongst many others, right? Without him, I feel like the industry kind of just falters a little bit, right? The tire gets a little bit lower. Scholarships, man, walk us through that. I know you're heading up scholarships for ACPN, correct? Talk us through that.
Yeah, and I'm not that much of an OG. Sam and I came into this at the same time. Come on. But yeah, we tried announcing this on the podcast last week. But if you saw the ACPN newsletter, we launched our Explorer program. The Explorer program is basically leveling up what we've done in the past with the scholarship program. We are now bringing 2 people to Connect Week for ACPN through our gracious sponsor. This year is United Motor Products.
Yeah, so walk us through the scholarship awards, Courtney. I know Joe's had that up. He's done so much diligent work around the scholarships for ACPN. Walk us through that a little bit on what the expectations are.
Yeah, Joe's passionate about this, and this year's scholarship program really reflects how passionate he is, because we've added an additional scholarship for someone new to the industry, new to content, to attend Connect Week. And that is an amazing opportunity. I wish that this had been there, when I joined this industry decades ago. Super helpful. And so we've got that. We are going to send someone to Leadership 2.0. So in 2025.
That's awesome.
And that's a huge announcement, because that's expensive. Like, as our sponsorships have ramped up, we are able to really do some good things with that money. And so, yeah, the additional scholarship to Connect Week, Leadership 2.0. Joe, do you want to try? What am I missing?
Oh, no, that's it. And, I've been through the 2.0 program, great program. Sam, you also went through it. And, we just felt that was important enough to give back to our community, because we had the chance to be able to do that as well. And it's a really great program.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And we'll get into sponsorships with ACPN, but I want to talk, because I know we talked about it in Vegas actually twice, whenever the audio just failed on the podcast, and I'm gonna blame somebody else for that. But I want to talk about data. Obviously, we're data rich in our industry. I think the question was posed: are we better off today? Right? Courtney, you've been around, I'd say, in the 2000s, so you've seen a lot of ups and downs. Sam and Joe kind of, I guess, came at the same time. But still, in my view, I think you guys are face of data. I mean, you guys just are, right? You're just the face of the data, and that's it. That's awesome. But what's y'all's thoughts on that? I think when we look at data, are we better off today? Have we moved the needle? Are we improving? What's your take there?
Sam, do you want to start with that one? That's a big topic, and I know you have a lot of insight into that.
Well, I think what we were talking about was Courtney was feeling like, did we make it overcomplicated? Do we have too much data? And then what I kind of highlighted was the overcomplication, ask for more data points on products is so that the user experience and the customer feels trusted in what they're buying. Now, there is a lot of difficulty when it comes to acquisition of these attributes for product data because the industry is so fragmented. Some of us are digitally mature and we have the data that we need. Some of us are so digitally mature that we have too much data and have no idea what to do with our house anymore because stuff is shoved in all the corners. And then some of us don't even have structure or data that's coming in. We're barely able to get a part number. So somewhere in there, the retailers and the shop owners and all that are having to stitch it together to create an experience and feel trusted in what they're buying. And that's where the standards come in. The standards is not data governance. The standards is how we transport data between each other. And that's one thing that you really need to understand is that it is not data governance. It has some little bits of flavors of governance within it, but it is just how we transport data between receiver and supplier. Now, the pose that I gave is there are some companies, myself is one of them, that, and even Courtney at this point, that have data from multiple suppliers. We're going out there, we're cleaning data, we're standardizing data, we're intaking data. I work across different industries than just automotive and heavy duty, and those industries also sell parts. They also have associations. So the question I posed to the team to get their reaction was, these other associations in, let's say, electronic components, it's an Electronic Component International Association or something like that, ECIA. They have stood up essentially like a forward-facing marketplace that's not an e-commerce. You can't buy anything from it, but it is forward-facing. It's called trustedparts.com. And what they do is they take all their members' product data and they post it up on this site for you to be able to search. And when you go to this site, you can get basic part number, description, image, pricing, availability of who sells it, PDFs, and nothing that is really secret sauce. I'm sorry to break anybody's heart, but it's not secret sauce. So what I pose to this is, how would our industry react if someone here today decided to stand up something similar, say tomorrow?
Sam gave a really excellent and kind of provocative response, but I mean, that is it in a nutshell, right? So, yeah.
Well, we talked about this. I mean, Joe, you brought it up. I can't remember if it was you or Courtney. I mean, we have the same file that's basically being redistributed 30 plus different times and slightly very small mechanical changes. Is it make more sense to kind of isolate and bring data into more of like not of a data sharing environment, but more of a rising tide lifts all boats? Is that kind of like the model in which we're having the discussion about, or is it more on? Because I think that's important, right? And I think that people kind of, okay, we build all of our data. Or is there things that we can make each other better without overcomplicating the system?
I think you nailed it. There was, and Sam touched on it, is there's like core things. That's not a secret sauce. Like, it's just doing business type of information. And circle it back to, did we overcomplicate this? Yes, we did. We put a lot of stuff in there to standardize it, and again, now there is some secret sauce mixed in with things that shouldn't be a secret sauce, and it's all coming through, to your point, different files to different, the same information going in multiple files out to these data receivers because there's so many little tweaks. But you get the core information. It shouldn't be secret sauce. It should be publicly available. Like, here's a part number, here's a picture, here's the description. Like, the basic information is not secret sauce.
Well, I think that's important because we look at our generation, and I mean, I look at myself, I have 25, 30 plus more years in the career. Again, I'm not isolated in the catalog side. You guys are. I know a lot about it. But is this something that, as we look ahead, I mean, ACPN is the governing body of this, right? Is this something that we're going to look to charge ahead and maybe make some adjustments, right? You can't make over adjustments, right? But maybe fine tune the process to where we could find ourselves in a better place in the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road.
I'll let Sam correct you on that.
Say, Sam is on the TSC. Sam, do you want to say a word about the TSC and what it does and then what you think might happen going forward?
I'm going to separate them because I'm going to say that my opinion is my opinion alone and not that of the TSC as a body or of AutoCare. I think the call to action of working with all the retailers across automotive and heavy duty is they have got to decide what is the minimum requirement of data. I don't care that you feel that a part number, an image, a product description, a part type, and MAP price is secret sauce, because I'm here to tell you it is not.
Mm-hmm.
It is basic information. It's like me filling out the top of a Scantron with my name and date of birth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not anything that's secret sauce. Your secret sauce is how you take this data and transform it and create that unique user experience for your customer that makes them think of coming to you to shop first ahead of every other person that I can go out and buy the same part from. I should not have customers coming to me asking, hey, can you go to this branded website and just give me every SKU they sell, the part type and the image. That's ridiculous that I have to have people come to me and ask me for that when you can give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not necessary. It's like we're literally asking for the basic points. And I don't know who's going to have to do it. It's a standoff. It's been a standoff for years, whether it's the retailers are finally going to say, hey, here's the minimum points for you just to create a product, or is it AutoCare that's going to say, here's the minimum requirements in pies to have a pies file. It's like chicken and the egg. Who's going to do it first? I can give you my theory of who's going to do it first, because it's coming down to somebody's got to be the parent here.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the TSC, I do sit on the Technology Standards Committee. The Technology Standards Committee is a committee of volunteers, about 20 of us. They are industry veterans across suppliers, retailers, manufacturers, and solution providers. So there's a vast array of perspective, and they are the governing body that kind of approves the changes and where the direction of where ACEs and PIEs is going.
Right. And then, so the TSC is also under the umbrella of the Auto Care Association, and then ACPN takes all of that and pushes it out to the rest of the industry so that they know what's happening with the standards.
Well, and I think we need to keep talking about it, right? I think as you kind of our outcome is what we're after as an industry, right? We're after an outcome, not a bullshit process, not more work, not, we're really after a better outcome that all, manufacturers alike, whether you're competitors or not, have a base foundation, because ultimately we're here for the consumer, right? At the end of the day. And then what you do with that data and how you position yourself is the competitive advantage. So I think it's incredibly, important to continue to talk about it. ACPN, it's really, the more that I've been involved, it's just a great group of people. It truly is like a family, and you become just great friends, right? With all of you, and everyone seems to really just enjoy themselves, enjoy what we do in the industry. Sponsorship opportunities. I can't reiterate enough the importance of supporting these organizations. Again, it's people volunteering their time to make sure that the next generation of our industry is protected and set up for success. Courtney, keep me honest here. We've got the bronze, silver, gold, platinum sponsorships. Those range anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000. If you want to give $20,000, you should give $20,000. And yeah, absolutely. And send 5 of that to Courtney's house in her personal bank account. She could buy us beers. No, it's a great organization, and it embodies data. And so I encourage you to support that. Joe Thomas, Sam Russo, Courtney, even myself, if you're looking to really get in touch with them, or you're new in the space, you're like, man, I think data intrigues me, right? Well, just engage, right? Engage with us as the industry. They engage you back. There's always one extra seat around the data table, and that's like an ongoing seat that anyone can always fill.
Right. It's a very welcoming community. I will say, I've been a member for a long time, and we just it is a great community. I think that content folks are generally pretty unpretentious, and that is what sets us apart from other industries. I mean, I don't want to attend a convention of orthopedic surgeons, right? I would much rather hang out with content people.
Hey, Krister, one year, he said, this is our Comic-Con.
Yes, it is.
It is more than a group, and it's not more than a convention. We're all a bunch of passionate people about the same thing. It's like kind of like a Comic-Con without costumes, unless I show up. But
Or
yeah,
Chelsea.
Sam,
So,
closing
Sam?
thoughts, Sam?
I think saying that people want to reach out to us because they're intrigued by data is incorrect. Most of the time, people that are reaching out to this crew are because they're frustrated with data.
that is a good point.
I was like, you're
Gotta
reaching
walk
out to me because there's something that you're frustrated about. So,
Right. And there is a lot too. I mean, the whole point of us getting together is to kind of talk about, there are a lot of frustrations, and have we made things more complicated? Can we make it easier? So I'm solidly Gen X, right? I grew up in a parts store, and all of the catalogs were in paper, and they were all on the counter. And so things have evolved lightning fast since then, and we are all being asked to do so much with so little. And I don't care where you went to school. I don't care what you learned here are 10 new technologies that you need to familiarize yourself with yesterday. And so that's another issue that we're trying to tackle, just to get content professionals up to speed and ready. And here's what you're going to need to know, and here's how you can learn about it. So I think that the millennials generation is frankly doing a better job of playing catch up, or being on the cutting edge of everything that's happening. And so bravo to all of the millennials, and they are absolutely shoving us forward, whether we like it or not, into the future.
Change happens in various ways. And I will say, if anyone ever can get the story behind data from Courtney Pedler, it's a freaking brilliant story from paper to where we're at today. The knowledge and the historical context is incredible. She's one of the best in the game with new companies or old companies looking at overhauling their pies and aces. She really is the best at it. I know as we wind up on time here, AutoCare Connect, May 12th through the 15th in Phoenix. That registration is opening now. We've got the ACPN Content Excellence Award. If you want to brag on the industry, submit your pies and aces. This is a voluntold requirement. We need everybody in industry to submit your pies and aces. If you don't, it's an excuse. Scholarships, if you're interested in the scholarships portion, headed up by Joe Thomas. Thank you, Joe. I know you were having some in and out on your audio there. Again, I guess this is just how we do it here, I guess, with ACPN. Thank you for your passion on the scholarships. More of that. And to the industry, let's invest more into ACPN. Sponsorship. So that's my take on ACPN. It's a fantastic group of people. And I look forward to May in Phoenix.
Yes.
Very soon. We'll be there.
See you all there.
All righty, folks. This is a third redo from AAPEX, live from AAPEX with the ACPN crew. We will do it again. I guarantee you that. And if we're not going to get it right, we will get it right. I promise you that. Anyhow, everyone have a great day. Have a great week. We're coming up on the holidays, so enjoy the turkey and Christmas. And to all of our automotive professionals, if you are looking for the best in the business, ACPN and that group of folks is awesome. We will talk very soon. Courtney, thank you so much for dedicating your time, and same with you, Joe and Sam. We greatly appreciate it. It is an awesome time to be in the automotive.
It is. Thank
awesome.
You.
As always, this is the voice of the industry. We are the 2W Podcast.